Hey guys, welcome back to another Race Survival Series match. This is week number 4, and we are in game number 6. We just had Movie take down a Protoss vs. Zerg match against Miso, and as you can see, he's up against the last remaining Terran player for this week. It is Speed. Terran's not doing so hot. Barracks only picking up a single map win, Scan being knocked out by Miso, and here we go now with Speed. For those of you who don't know Speed did play in ASL Season 11. He started to get into ASTL as well. He's also known as Sexy and Hero. And if you watch a lot of Afrika TV streams, he's the guy that goes by 10-min Flash. So he plays a lot with the other top players. And honestly, for me personally, he's one of the Terran players I'm most excited to watch and learn from, because he has a very, very, very different way of playing than the other Terran players. It's kind of very cool to see that right now the top Terrans are all becoming stylistically very different. It kind of reminds me a little bit about like Protoss players in general, right? Like I feel like in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2, you can kind of tell Protoss players apart by their play more easily than Terran players or Zerg players. And I feel like that's becoming becoming what we're seeing in StarCraft 1. Like, for instance, okay, obviously there's like a lot of builds that everyone does, but Speed specifically likes some builds like 3 Depot Vulture expands, whereas everyone else on Factory Expand goes 2 Depot. So there's just these little changes where he like gets a few more SCVs and things like that that are really cool and interesting. Okay, well, enough about that. I'm just trying to kind of sell you guys on the fact that you should be excited about him, because I certainly am. I'll watch like every game this guy ever plays at the pro level. Well, as many as I can, at least. These guys play all day. Anyways, the map is Neo Forte. Some of you might remember this map. You can see this weird little mineral wall here. This is a pretty darn old map and a very weird map. As you can see, you have this main base that's a very, 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 very small. It doesn't have a lot of buildable terrain. But then when you go down your ramp, you have this big open area that has an expansion down here. And then you have a little kind of walled area here. But you can bring, like, workers and mine through this to destroy walls that your opponent has made. The center is a bit more open. Honestly, I think that this is the inspiration for the new map, Lemon, that we've been seeing. So, yeah. Most of your buildings will be built down here, and it's just, it's a weird map. Okay, I want to say that this map was played heavily in like 2007. I might be just slightly off on that, but no, even earlier than that. Now that I'm thinking about it, like I saw matches on this map a really long time ago, and you can see, right? It's like even the minerals spread is not something we use anymore. These minerals so close to the wall, so it's interesting to see this map actually being used. It's not something I expected. But here we are. Now, this is a 2-gate opener from Movie. This might be as few as 4 Dragoons into an expansion, or it could be just non-stop Dragoon production. Now, Speed. Now, look, there's the 3rd depot that I was talking about, but this is not exactly the build that I was thinking about when I talked about this. Normally, with this, he'll go for like a Vulture and 5 Marines and just take his command center, and it's a pretty solid play. Here he's going for a 2-fact. So this is a rush build. This is a little bit of an all-in from Speed. And unfortunately for him, Movie is countering it like pretty darn hard. 2-gate range will stop this build pretty dead in its tracks. What you're looking to do is punish like any Dragoon expansion builds with the 2-fact. So for instance, if your opponent goes 2 Dragoon Nexus or 3 Dragoon Nexus, they're on 1 gateway, you just kind of attack normally with 3 siege tanks and like however many Marines you made, and maybe an SCV or 2 as well, and you rally up Vultures and you just kill them. But in this case, there's already 2 gates out. So he's already got 5 goons. This looks bad for Speed, in my opinion. But the thing is, there is a lot of weird flexibility that you can try to do with a 2-fact like this. Like, for instance, he's getting Siege. This is not common. This is not a standard 2-fact. There's the second add-on. Like, I'm not... I feel right now like Speed is going to have a terrible time. Okay, so he's going to have siege. Cool, but he's losing all of his Marines. He's taking a lot of damage. He is taking a lot of damage there, and uh-oh. Definitely some punishing coming in there. So a couple Dragoons at least going to die. Oh, no. Oh, wow. I thought for sure he was going to take a hit on one of those. Either one of those would have popped. Engineering bay on the way. More siege tanks coming up. And, yeah, another tank there as well. So this is, like, about as insanely all-in as you can get. And I think that this is confusing as well for movie. Because he's playing... This is like the quickest siege. You never see siege this quickly nowadays. So that's very, very different. This SCV going up the side. He did get a robo. Shuttle on the way. Yeah, so it will be going into Reaver, which is like a perfect tool to help slow down a push like this as well. More Marines being made. He does have that eBay. Throwing down a turret. Dude, this is a weird play here from Speed. Like, I feel like he has to get lucky with the choices that Movie makes. And Movie, like, might be getting more and more confused throughout this. So some turrets going down. He's moving out his tanks and Marines. And this has not... Like, he's lost a few goons. He doesn't have that many goons here right now. 5 goons is not scary for this at all. Like, this crushes 5 goons. So, even though Speed waited, you know what? Like... maybe. The Reaver's going to be very important, but it's not going to be out in time. And oh, okay. Nice move up there from Movie. He's going to pick off 2 tanks. So he loses 3 goons for 2 tanks. Probably worthwhile. But that being said, this is a very low goon. He has, like, no shields on the other goons as well. And there's already an engineering bay out. So if we can see Speed get up here, make a single turret, and siege up, he's going to kill this base, and there's going to be a very strong contain up. Shuttle flying over the army right now, kind of taking a look as to where everything's at. Look at this, picking off the low health Dragoons. Oh my god, he is popping a lot of Dragoons right now. Okay, the Reaver comes out. Very, very important moment here to see what that Reaver can get done. Oh, he can land it right in between the siege tanks. He's only going to have 1 Scarab to start. Okay, there's a good hit. There's a good hit. Gets a tank. The siege tank pulls back. More vultures coming up. Now, there's a lot of micro that can happen right here. Like, you can run away from Reaver Scarabs and take much less damage. Choosing to pick off a mine as opposed to trying to hit that siege tank. All right, siege is up. This Nexus might be forfeit. Don't forget he has some turrets down here as well. Starport on the way. That's most likely for a Wraith to help combat this shuttle. Zealots being made to help pull some mines, drop on tanks and whatnot. Just pop the Reaver out there for a moment to make sure he's making enough Scarabs. 3rd gate coming up. 4th gate coming up. You can see how tight this is. Movie right now, not with a lot of workers. Wow, what a wild opener from Speed. I tell you, I really have never seen a 2-fact like this. But anyways, he does get his tank picked off, so that's very painful, but gets ahead of these Dragoons. That means that we have 1 pretty hurt Reaver and no Dragoons. These Vultures can actually win this right now. Oh my god. He's getting in on top of these probes. The Reaver trying to do its best, but the Vulture's moving around and he misses the Scarabs. Okay, does hit one there. But there's a lot of damage being put out. Now, more Dragoons come out of these gates. They did get hit by some mines, so they're pretty low, but they can still help out quite a bit in removing these Vultures. Finally gets that taken out as well, but 14 probes are all that remain. The Nexus still exists, so there's a possibility that Movie can actually stabilize here. And he'll already have that Nexus up, so he can make up some of the lost time on worker production, perhaps. Since he is behind in that regard now. But you know what? Speed did really good damage. And he's already got turrets, which is a big, big part of this. Like, Reaver is oftentimes a good counter against 2-facts, because you'll do things like skip getting turrets out. But this weird version with the siege mode, he got those up. It looks like he's very well defended against Reaver. He's making a Wraith as well. Look at this. Even another turret there. I think Speed realizes that Movie needs to get counter damage. So here we go. Movie comes over. He has this shuttle. And here comes the Wraith. He's going to be in serious trouble. This is not going to be able to get home, I don't think. The Reaver is just going to have to get dropped. Okay, he's coming over. He's trying to bomb everything out. Out come those Zealots. And, oh, the Reaver gets dropped. Gets a Scarab off, but everything gets killed. Fantastic moment here for speed. So let's take a look at where we're at. 10 worker advantage for speed. The command center is not quite done, but he'll have like a 9 or an 8 worker advantage, a minimum, over Movie. Movie's trying to get back into Reaver tech here. He is making another shuttle. I'm sure he'll go for Reaver with that as well. But with the Wraith out, ooh. Oh my God, are you kidding me? That's insane. Like, he just didn't realize there were 3 mines here. So a little bit of a mistake there for Movie, no doubt. Huge advantage for speed. Huge advantage. Wow. What a game. What a wild opener from speed. And you could look, I feel great for telling you guys that this guy's really exciting and plays differently from everyone else, because again, that's not a 2-fact that I think I've ever seen. With the siege mode, the turrets, the very slow push. I think some of that was reactive based on what he was scouting and the amount of Dragoons coming down. He had to slow it a bit. But he executed it really well and got there right before the Reavers were really ready. Fantastically done. Now, one thing to mention, we have this high ground here. This is a situation that we never see on modern maps, but this is an older map. So you could theoretically drop units up here, whether it's Dragoons to harass or more likely some siege tanks, right? Well, I guess it is going to be the Dragoons immediately. He does have the add-on for the starport, so certainly can get into some dropships as well. And honestly, if he goes slowly with turret siege tank from down here to control, and maybe thinks about making a second Wraith, he can completely dominate up here, even against shuttles, even though shuttles are better than dropships. All right, here we go. Coming in once again, bombing on top. See what kind of damage can be done. Not very much, it seems. All right, well, sacks a shuttle, a zealot, and a Reaver for like an SCV, 2 tanks about. I'm not sure. I don't think so. It doesn't seem quite good enough. All right, dropship is on the way, so I think we're going to see that push towards this Nexus. And Movie, I don't think he'll have too much recourse. He is getting speed for shuttles, but he's already lost a couple shuttles. He's remaking a Reaver. We need to see like at least 2 shuttles from him to dive bomb enough on the tanks up high to actually take control of this ledge. So he is making 1 shuttle right now. We have an armory up. Vultures being made with that speed upgrade. Looks like Movie's starting to clear the map. I think he knows he's going to have to expand over here very, very soon. It's like a small vulture drop goes down. Seeing what he can catch. The Reaver walking back blocks the vultures from getting up in the main. So very nice. And now it's time to just utilize this dropship nonstop. All right, so this shuttle is going to be finishing, but you need more than 1 shuttle. Like, Protoss shuttles, 4 Zealots is pretty strong, but 2 Dragoons in a shuttle is a pretty weak drop-off. But if you don't have some sort of anti-air there, then the Wraith dominates. So it's kind of a tough thing to do. I guess he'll walk the Dragoons up to the ledge to kind of cover it. Look at this, the mines in beautiful locations, making him really commit up here. But yeah, he drops the Zealot, and that does get it very, very low. And pulls the Wraith back into those Dragoons as well. Oh my God. Tons of damage onto that Reaver, getting absolutely nothing done. It's a disaster for Movie this game, folks. We have a command center for speed in the bottom left base. That is way too far out for Movie to ever do anything against it. And honestly, as long as he macros and keeps slight pressure up, I can't see Movie winning from here. I cannot see it. He's got nothing going for him right now. He's like making another Reaver. He's making nothing but Dragoons. He's got 4 gates. His economy's tiny. 34 probes, and he's barely mining. The pressure is non-stop here. The factory count is actually... it's higher than the gateway count already. Which is actually something you never see in any situation. So yeah, Movie is looking pretty dead right now. We'll see if there's anything to be done. Flies up. Honestly, like, I think that the best thing you can do here, and here's what... we used to have a lot of maps that had situations where you could gully push. Sometimes we call it like gully push or cliff push, whatever. It depends. This would be a cliff. Other times would be a low ground right outside of an expansion or something that you would gully push. But the way that Protoss developed playing against this back when this was a common map feature, and this was a very long time ago, but basically they would like half-heartedly defend. They wouldn't be sacking a bunch, but they'd be slowing you down, and then just expand everywhere on the map because you're spending so much time microing up here, landing little amounts of units, trying to be cost efficient, and then they take the whole map, right? So I feel like that's what movie may need to get into, because this is a losing prospect, right? I mean, look at this. Yeah, okay. But the Wraiths make this impossible. He's got the good spread of siege tanks. And it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. So, I mean, okay, that's going to be it. GG, speed wins.